In Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, hospitals are so overwhelmed they're now treating patients on the floor, in hallways and even outside.
They told me my mother's oxygen level was low and asked me to find a bed somewhere else because the hospital was packed. I tried many places and found one outside this hospital. Only one bed was vacant when we arrived here. We were lucky to get it.
There's also a desperate need for oxygen canisters. Climbers on Mount Everest have been asked to bring back their empty tanks so they can be refilled for coronavirus patients. But the situation on the mountain is also worrying, with guides describing an outbreak at base camp, although that's been denied by the government.
With all the confirmed cases we know now, confirmed from pilots, from insurances, from doctors, from expedition leaders, I have the positive tests, so we can prove this. We have at least 100 people, minimum, positive for COVID in base camp.
Much of the world's attention has been on the crisis in India, but aid agencies and medical workers are warning of an unfolding human catastrophe in neighbouring Nepal. Its inoculation campaign has almost ground to a halt after India banned exports of COVID vaccines.
Transmission could be less in urban areas in the coming weeks, but it has reached the villages, which is a cause for concern. We would ask them to check oxygen levels, prescribe medicine and x-rays, but it's not available there.
Some accuse Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli of fueling the crisis. He's repeated claims that COVID is no worse than the flu. Oli says his government's made every possible effort to save people, blaming a lack of resources and infrastructure. But anger over his government's handling of the outbreak has added to what was already a political stalemate. The President dissolved Parliament on Saturday to make way for elections.
The very purpose of the state and politics is to protect its people, which is a pandemic, and now our attention has been diverted to the election. Elections are important for democracy, but I don't know what kind of election that we are talking. So I think it's a misplaced priorities to cover up political incompetencies of the government.
Experts predict Nepal could see 40,000 deaths by July, a toll worse than any other country in the region for the size of its population. Funeral pyres in Kathmandu burn day and night, with families forced to grieve at a distance and often alone. Alexi, Aljazeera.